So do you like the rest of us? Do you have slightly different sizes clothes when you gain a little bit of weight? When you lose
Yes,
a little bit of
yes,
weight?
I do.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
So here's the deal. The unfortunate part is that I have clothes that are larger, but I don't have clothes that are smaller. So I don't know if that's we're talking about faith. I don't know if that's a lack of faith that I'm not going to lose any more weight. Well, I don't know.
It's just that
That's all I got.
You're about to get styled up for GQ 2023, so that's what you.
No,
You
let me
should
tell you
make
something.
sure that you
There are a
do
lot of
that.
magazines I'm gonna be in. That's not one of them.
With your skinny
That's
jeans,
not what. No.
tight roll the bottom of it.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you what I do have. I have warm-ups like those warm-up pants. They Viore. I have a pair of Viore pants, and they are skinny they're joggers,
Okay.
and they're skinny at the ankle.
Yeah.
Those are the best pants for the gym.
Really?
Yeah, when it's chilly, those are the best for real. But you ain't got no Viores, Doc.
No, I do not.
Why are you laughing at my Viores, Doc?
I've never heard that.
I did just buy some new gym shorts, and I thought they're gonna be all cool and whatnot. And I do like them, except for the fact that they have a third pocket that has a zipper on it to hold your stuff at the gym, but it is right at the top of your bum.
No. I've seen those. Those are not gym.
It's like, I'm not putting my keys back there.
Yeah, no.
That ain't-
Because you'll forget and you'll sit down. And
Oh, you're
it'll
not gonna
be-
forget because your
Yeah.
keys are just dangling around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not
Yeah.
good.
This is more unfiltered. This is more unplugged than unfiltered.
Fashiony fashions.
Yeah, fashiony fashion.
Fashion advice from the only person they should take fashion advice on the stage is Bishop.
You got that right.
The
for
rest
real.
of us is like,
For real.
hey, if you're gonna be stuck in the way you dressed at 18, follow
for,
Josh.
for the rest of
I've been wearing these sandals since I was okay. Hey, welcome
Not
to
the
Greatest
same one.
Unfiltered.
Not the same one.
Not
Right.
the
Not the same one.
Yeah, same
Same style.
There you
Same
go.
style, not the same one.
Are you?
They really made these well.
Do you get paid? You know how we run credits and different
He
things.
needs to.
Do you get credit for wearing what are those? Adidas?
Probably. Welcome to Grace
Raw
Unfiltered. This is glad you guys are here. We are talking nonsense, Marcus. You have a lot to edit.
Yeah,
So
for
here's-
real. For real.
For real. But we had an amazing
There was 2 or 3
Sunday.
people here Sunday.
There were 2 or 3 people here on Sunday.
Yeah.
But the Bible says wherever 2 or 3 are gathered together, he'll be in the midst.
There you go.
He was
There
in
you
the
go.
midst in his
My
fullness.
son got here late and he had to sit in the atrium.
There you go.
That's how that went.
So it happens on
For
the
other
fourth
folks,
Sunday.
that's the lobby.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
The lobby.
Outside the main room.
Outside the
At the church I went to and served at during seminary, they called it the narthex. I thought
narthex?
that was pretty pretentious. But then I looked it up and they were accurate. So there you go.
What does that mean?
It means lobby. All right. So
It's a vestibule.
There you go. That's what I was supposed
Yeah,
to
I'm
say.
like we had a vestibule.
so we have 3 questions and a statement. The first one is they always have like a statement at the beginning. There's the sentence, and then they have the question. The first one is
maintains
just a
the
statement. So number 1 is, oh my God, that was a good one this morning. What a gift you are. What a gift you are. I am so thankful for you and for my church. My heart is softening again. So they were talking to you, Neil, about that.
They were not talking to me at all, by no stretch of the imagination. So what's your reaction, Bishop?
Thank you.
He says thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, here come the blowers that we always have. Y'all don't hear them.
They don't hear him.
They don't.
Yeah. They do our lawn while we talk to you. Number 2, this is kind of a holdover from a little bit from last week. It's still good questions. Are there different levels of forgiveness? For example, I forgive someone of something, and later I remember something else they did to me, and I have to work through forgiving them for that particular thing. Or is it when I forgive someone that has hurt me in many ways one time, and that covers all the wrong they did? Are there different levels of forgiveness? Bishop.
That's both of y'all. I hadn't even talked about forgiveness.
I look at it two ways. Once we forgive a person, we need to forgive them. But depending on what degree or how long the situation was, and based on some of these questions, it may be from the same person. I tend to believe that this is someone that has gone through a very traumatic situation and seasons. That there are different levels that they keep playing back over and over again in their mind.
Sure.
Jesus talked about how often should we forgive. So I bring that into play. So whether it's different levels or different times, forgiveness is still in order.
Absolutely.
And I also believe that depending on where the person is, and I've been ministering to a person that over time, there's been a softening of their heart
Okay.
as it relates to what they went through. So I believe that there are different stages of the healing process of that forgiveness.
Right.
I believe that forgiveness can happen, but I still believe that people are wounded. I was listening to a pastor that went through some stuff a few years ago. He's still healing. You know, he's still crying about it because of the depth of the wound. Yeah. Tad.
You want me to go?
Yes.
Yeah, I think, you know,
I have a question.
I 100%,
behind
I
that.
100% agree with that. You know, I think the way I would just say it is an illustration. My wife and I have been married for 22 years coming up in May. My wife has had to forgive me 1,000 times a year, right? Over and 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 over. So if you are in a relationship with someone, you're going to have to forgive them over and over and over again, or you're going to build up resentment in that relationship.
Yeah.
So that's true, but I don't think it also excludes exactly what Bishop was saying. There's some things that someone does one thing to you, but it so disturbs you, or it's such a wound. But I think the same is true. Like, even if it's just that one wound, a lot of times you have to forgive that person over and over and over and over again for you, right? In that instance. So what are you going to say?
No, that was it. You know, and it makes me come back to go, okay, is that if you have to wonder about, and I'm just thinking this out loud, I didn't process this in my head, but if you're wondering about, is that forgiveness, but you're doing the work, I'm wondering, is there a difference between forgiveness and healing, or is forgiveness a part of the healing? You know what I'm saying? Is forgiveness part of the entire, because healing is where we want to get to. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Right.
So is forgiveness a part of the healing? And maybe we have forgiven, but we still have the wound that's still there that we have to work through.
I think that's a lot of it.
So when you talked about stages, I was like, okay, first stage, I got to forgive. You know, or I choose to forgive.
Yeah, right.
And then I work through
The healing
process. I mean, you know, after like you said, I don't know if it's you or Josh were talking about, after surgery, you have rehab.
Rehab.
You know, so you go through surgery, but then you have rehab. There's still pain, but the initial impact, the initial damage has been taken care of, but you have to work through the rest of that pain.
Learn how to live again, learn how to walk again. Learn how to move beyond that in a correct way. Without the limp.
And then sometimes it matures into a ministry. Because sometimes you go, I forgive, I've healed, and now I am.
Well, one of my favorite authors is a guy named Henry Nouwen. And Henry, one of his books about pastoring is called The Wounded Healer. And the essence of The Wounded Healer is that you are the best minister at the places where you have your greatest wound.
Yes. Because you are aware.
Because you've gone there, you've come back,
That's
and you
right.
can bring other people back out of that pit.
Yeah, I've witnessed that time and time again. I am still humbled by the love, the support that I receive in a city that I went through so much in. But a lot of the people who still love, support, are people who have gone through similar situations. And my life has been on display for them to see and to observe close up. And many of them testimony has been, if the Lord allowed him to make it back from that,
Surely.
surely
Yeah.
he can do the same for me.
It goes back to the whole thing that Jesus had conversation with Peter. He says, I pray that your faith doesn't fail. Because
That's
at
right.
the end of the day, when your faith fails, I think forgiveness is thwarted. I think the healing process is stopped or stunted. But if your faith doesn't fail, and then when you are converted, then strengthen your brethren. So I think I don't know if that's descriptive or I think it's more prescriptive than descriptive of the process I think that a lot of us go through. Here's the other part. I don't think that a lot of us want to be the poster child for helping others that have gone through whatever.
Oh, no, we didn't sign up for it.
Yeah,
No.
that's not a,
No,
that's
I
not
wouldn't.
a,
No.
that's not a list you get in line for.
No.
I mean, but
I didn't
when
sign
you
up for it. But
but you got it,
Oh, I
and
got it.
and that's and I think
did
that
it, so I got
right, yeah,
We all want the ministry of being rich and carefree.
Yeah, that's right.
This is what the Lord gave me. I will minister to all the rest of you.
That's right. Oh, I'll write you a check.
And Jesus is like, that's now, if you've read the Beatitudes, that's not how it's going to go.
No, at all.
Next question. How is what Bishop talked about, this happens, so that happens, so this happens, so that happens, so we got Jesus, which was an amazing illustration. I guess I saw about 75% through that. I was like, oh, I know where he's going.
Man, I thought he was gonna stop, but then when he went, man.
I know. When he carried it over, he carried it over the goal line. I was like, that was good.
Listen, let me tell y'all something.
No, I'm asking a question. So how is Bishop?
I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah.
So how is what Bishop talked about
Watch the video.
different than the concept of fate?
Ooh.
Because what Bishop talked about is God did this, so God did this, so God did this, and this led to this, and this led to this, and this led to ultimately Jesus, right? So this event, and this event, which all seemed random, actually had a purpose. How is that different than the people that talk about fate? Fate led me here, fate did this, fate did that, we were fated. So that seems to be the question.
Yeah, sovereignty versus fate.
Bishop.
once again, I believe, as a believer, we kind of referred to it this morning in devotion, in all things give thanks, for this is the will of God for you in Christ Jesus.
Right.
I look at everything through the filter, through the lens of faith, that as a child of God, that God knows the plans and the thoughts that he has concerning me. There's not thoughts of destruction, but to give me a future and a hope. That's what I believe.
Right.
And so even in some of those ugly situations, I believe that God is going to do something special in my life. Either teach me a very important lesson or bring some correction in my life.
Right.
All of that. But ultimately for his glory and for my growth. Yeah. So I base it on the sovereignty of God.
Right.
Yeah, I thought you said it's about fate. I was like, fate? The way he said faith.
Faith.
Yeah, faith. Yeah, excuse me, faith.
Well, but here's the deal. So faith is attributed to God. Fate is attributed to no one. So if you talk about fate, who is fate attributed to?
The difference is someone in charge
Yeah, that's the question.
of history.
Yeah.
We believe there's someone in charge of history.
Right.
Now, I would even differentiate that between that and, people talk about the universe gave me this and the universe gave me that. This is an impersonal force
Say
that
his
they
name.
right.
Say my name.
Right.
say
So the difference between fate, we believe that there is a personal being
That intentionally
created and controls all of history.
Yes.
And so it's not fate or fatalistic. It is a life of faith or non-faith in
Yes.
that, or rejection of faith. But that's the difference, I think, is there's a person at the center of what we believe.
Yeah.
And you can have a relationship, because I think the whole world is based on a relationship. We can have a relationship, as we operate in faith. We have this being that intentionally, with all wisdom, laid out with a purposeful way, all of that. That being we can have a relationship with. I don't know how to have a relationship with fate. how do you have a relationship with fate?
Well, and see,
Coincidence?
well, I think that's one of the biggest difference because fate, you just resign yourself to, well, this is
Whatever.
Whereas in faith, you have faith and trust in one that loves you and sacrificed himself for you.
Yeah.
So those are
Yeah,
huge.
he's the Christ, the Trinity, God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. They're the object of our faith. That's who we put our faith and our trust in. Jesus is the author and finisher of our faith. So it starts with him and it ends with him, and he covers everything in between. So,
Yeah.
It's a person.
That's
Number
easy
4.
for us
Go
to
for
say.
it.
That's so cool. I mean, what's funny is it's real easy for us to say, but I remember having conversations sometimes with folks on college campuses, and it's hard for them to get that.
yes.
It's real hard for them to get that.
Yeah.
It's
And
just-
it's not always easy to live it out.
Oh, yeah,
Because
no,
there are
no,
times
yeah.
crazy things happen to all of us.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to regulate, reconcile everything. But we have to.
Yeah. I'm done.
Last but not least, you being Bishop, you talked, it's just the way it's written, it's not capitalized. I'm emphasizing
Oh,
you,
okay.
but
I got
I'm supplanting. Bishop talked about God, quote, lowering the hedge, unquote, around us on Sunday morning.
They were paying attention.
Yeah, they were.
When bad things come into my life, how do I know if it's God or not?
First of all, I was making reference to Job, the situation in Job, and I used my prophet's prerogative, my spiritual imagination, my license for leeway.
Do you know any of those, Josh? Do you know? Yeah, you do. Okay. Yeah.
And figuratively, lowering the hedge, basically what the scripture is really saying to us, God allowed the enemy to attack Job. And I believe that for redemption purposes, God allows some things to happen to us, and I don't want to ever say God did it, just like somebody saying God tempted me. No, God never tempts us.
Nor is he tempted.
Yeah. But my belief is that God allows some things to happen to us, once again, going back to develop us, to deliver us, to teach us some very important lessons. Yeah.
Well, as a parent, I mean, Julie and I are going through this right now. And we all with kids, and I don't think it ends when they get older.
It does.
Wish it did.
Yeah, I know. But we're,
A 44-year-old.
so we with all of our children at different times, we're like, you know what? We're going to have to allow them to go through this tough time, whether they brought it on themselves or whether it's brought on them, and they need to learn how to figure that out so that they don't stay a child their entire life.
Right.
Man.
So that they grow up and become, and all of our parents had to do that to us one way or another. And if we know how to do that so imperfectly as parents, how does our perfect Father in heaven, who doesn't let anything through that will not benefit us, allow that to happen, allow those things to come into our life? Now, it always hurts, and we always want to not hurt, but we also don't want to be a child our entire life.
I believe that God allows some pivotal moments to happen in our lives, and this is the setup, so get ready, Neil.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to give you an assist. But Neil has a story that I believe that was so pivotal in him moving from a child to an adult. He had a situation with his automobile, and he called his father. Bam, it's on you.
Wow. So I told this at my dad's funeral. It was in my dad's eulogy. I told in my dad's eulogy about this situation with me and my dad. So I had an '84 Ford Thunderbird, and I just got it, not tags on it, and it broke down. I called my dad. I said, Daddy, listen, this car broke down, and I don't know what's right. I think we may need an engine, transmission. My daddy said, oh, man. son, it broke down. Whew, man, I cannot. I said, yeah, it broke down. I don't know what I'm gonna do. My dad said, well, call me and let me know what you're gonna do with it, and hung up the phone. I was like, you really gonna leave me out here? But I think that moment for real totally changed how I look at things that happen. If he would have come to my rescue, specifically with that, then I know that I would have had an unrealistic expectation of him and always trying to come to my rescue. So, which gave me a totally different image of God. I mean, it's like, you know what? God does not allow just crazy stuff to come to me just randomly.
Right.
He knows that I can handle it.
Right.
My earthly father knew that I could handle it some kind of way. Right. He knew it wasn't going to kill me. But I was dead when he hung up the phone. But yeah, but those things have you remember that? That is wild.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I've learned from that. I mean, you got to, in the country they say a tub got to stand on its, every tub got to stand on its bottom. You got to stand on your own 2 feet, and you have to figure out the difference between earthly situations and a situation that's spiritual is that, you know what, I'm not standing alone. When I'm standing under the promises, the pathway, the scriptures that have led the presence of God. I laid out some P's there, didn't I?
You did.
But yeah, I
write it down so you can do it in your next sermon.
Yeah, well, no, it may be D's on the next sermon. But yeah, that's what we stand on. So, is it fate or is it God? Man, no, is it God or is it the devil? To me, it's all God. God still makes the bad stuff good.
Well, yeah, and I want to say the big difference is there. One of them wants to destroy you.
Yes.
One of them wants to perfect you.
Yeah.
And the one that wants to perfect you is the one that's in charge.
That's right. Right.
Amen.
That's it.
That's right.
That's it. I had to write a paper when I was in seminary about, that good and evil paper everybody has to write.
Yeah, absolutely.
The different, where does evil come from, all of that. I hated that paper. But it gave me some insight on, wait a minute, God really is, they are not, two planets that are fighting each other. It's not the God planet and the devil planet. It is the still upset because he got evicted devil trying to get back, at God.
Absolutely.
So, and that's the fight, and we get caught in the crossfire. These were good questions.
Yeah. Can we, you've got something going on Wednesday nights.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm coming tonight.
All right.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Well, it'll be tomorrow night.
Tonight. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help them because they gonna get there eventually.
Yeah.
I'm coming tonight.
No, we're going through a class called Unoffendable, and I'm telling you, like this is probably the class that's hardest for people to buy what we're selling, because you are telling them that they really, really have to, and we're going through it together, like you really have to lay down your anger. Like you really have to forgive. And they're like, no, but they wronged me, and so I should just sort of forgive. No, you need to forgive. but my anger propels me forward. No, you're supposed to get rid of that anger and let love take over. And it's so funny because this class exposes the fact that all of us really want to hold on to that righteous anger against one another. Like we almost run off of it, and it just forces out. So it's a really, really good class. And
you like teaching this class too, don't you?
well, I do like teaching things that poke the bear, that force people to deal with what's really inside, And so it's a good class. And you're teaching a leadership class on Saturday and Monday.
Saturday, starting this coming Saturday, 9 until 10. Just the same class, just an hour. Because we're going to go for the whole month. This coming Saturday, it'll be the call to leadership, answering the call to leadership, and to understand that having a position does not make you a leader.
Got that right.
Yeah. And then the following week, we'll talk about...
That don't mean I'm leading out of my house.
Say that again.
And what is the time? Monday night is what?
Monday, 6 until 7.
6 to 7.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. All month long. And so we're back to normal services this week. So the 9 o'clock service and the 10:30, we're starting a new series on the prodigal son.
There you go. I'm excited about it.
This is going to be a good series.
Josh keeps saying that. I hope it is.
This is, except for the weeks that Neil teaches, this is going to be a good series.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, 1290 Cantrell,
There you go.
www.graceunitedlr.com. Bye, Cynthia.
Bye, Cynthia.
Bye, Cynthia.
See, so, okay, Cynthia got mad because he said it last time. Thank you, Cynthia, or you're welcome.